Listen to me, if you win the morning, you win the day. That's not just some motivational poster you hang on the wall. That's the truth. The way you wake up, the way you move, the way you think in those first few hours, it determines everything. Some of you keep asking why your life isn't changing, why you're not seeing results, but every single morning you keep doing the same thing. You hit snooze. You let that alarm clock dictate your discipline. You let that bed swallow up your dreams, and you don't even realize that right there, before the sun's even up, you already lost. You think it's just sleep. You think it's just 5 more minutes. But I'm telling you that 5 minutes is a seed. It's a seed that grows into procrastination. It's a seed that grows into I'll start tomorrow. It's a seed that grows into I'll do it later. And before you know it, your life is full of later. You've been waiting for the perfect time to start, but the perfect time was this morning and you missed it. Successful people don't negotiate with the morning. They don't argue with the alarm clock. They made a decision long before it went off. They said, when it's time, I move. And that's why they win. They understand that discipline is built in the small decisions. It's not about waking up one morning with all the energy in the world. It's about waking up when you don't feel like it, when the bed feels warm, when it's still dark outside, and saying, I promised myself I would get up, so I'm up. That's the difference. See, when you win the morning, you've already beaten most of the world. Do you know how many people are still sleeping while you're moving, while you're reading, while you're praying, while you're working out, while you're planning? You're stacking up small victories before they've even opened their eyes. That momentum carries you through the rest of the day. You walk different. You think different. You talk different. Why? Because you started the day on offense, not defense. Most people start their morning reacting. They wake up late, they rush to get ready, they grab their phone, and instantly they're in somebody else's world. Somebody else's drama, somebody else's opinion, somebody else's emergency, and all day long they're playing catch-up. You can't win like that. You can't be successful if you're always chasing instead of leading. You have to flip the script. You have to wake up with the mindset that the morning is yours. Before you give yourself to your boss, to your clients, to your family, to the world, you give yourself to you. That's the only way you stay in control of your life. That's the only way you keep your vision sharp. If you wake up and the first thing you do is check everybody else's life, you'll never take control of your own. It's not about being a morning person. Stop hiding behind that excuse. I've seen people who hated mornings transform their life just by taking ownership of them. At first it's uncomfortable. Yeah, you're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel like it's not worth it. But let me tell you something, you're not chasing comfort. You're chasing change. And change doesn't come wrapped in comfort. Change comes wrapped in sacrifice. Some mornings you're not gonna have the energy. Some mornings you're gonna wake up frustrated. But the beauty of winning the morning is that the energy comes after the action, not before it. You get up, you move, you do what you said you'd do, and then your body catches up. Your mind catches up, your spirit catches up. You can't sit there waiting for motivation, it's not coming. What's coming is discipline, and you have to build it. Winning the morning also means you control your environment. You prepare the night before. You lay out your clothes. You write down your plan. You decide what your first move is. That way, when you open your eyes, there's no debate. You already know exactly what's about to happen. You've already removed the excuses. You've already set yourself up to win. But here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Winning the morning starts with winning the night. You can't expect to wake up early and powerful if you stayed up wasting time, scrolling, watching TV, doing nothing that feeds your purpose. You're losing your mornings at night. And if you can't discipline yourself when the sun goes down, you'll never discipline yourself when it comes up. You have to understand this. The morning is your chance to set the tone. You can wake up and set it strong, or you can let the world set it for you. And when you let the world set it, you're not in control anymore. You're reacting all day long. But when you win the morning, when you claim it, when you own it, you walk into the day with power. You walk into the day with clarity. You walk into the day with a head start. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm telling you it's worth it. There's a difference between people who wish and people who win. And most of that difference is found in what they do when the rest of the world is sleeping. You want success. Stop waiting for it to knock on your door at 2 in the afternoon. Success knocks early. Success knocks when it's quiet. Success knocks when nobody else is listening. And if you're still sleeping, you're gonna miss it every time. You have to get to the point where waking up with purpose is who you are. Not something you try, not something you test, but part of your DNA. And once it's part of you, nobody can take it away. You'll know what it's like to walk into your day already ahead, already aligned, already in motion. And that's when you realize the morning wasn't just about the morning. It was about creating the kind of life where every day starts with a win. Because if you win the morning, you've already told the day how it's going to go. Before the world wakes up and starts pulling at you from every direction, you've got to take a moment to pour into yourself. I'm talking about nourishing your mind before the noise gets in. See, the problem with most people is they let the day tell them how to think. They wake up, grab their phone, scroll through social media, check the news, read some text messages, and without even realizing it, their thoughts are already shaped by someone else's mood, someone else's agenda, someone else's drama. And they wonder why they feel stressed, scattered, or behind before the day even starts. You can't let that happen if you're serious about success. You've got to guard those first minutes, those first hours of your day like they're gold, because they are. That's your prime mental real estate. That's when your mind is fresh, when your spirit is open, when your energy hasn't been drained by 100 different demands. That's the time to fill yourself with things that lift you, strengthen you, and set your focus. For some of you, that means prayer. For some, it's meditation. For others, it's reading something that inspires you or challenges your thinking. It could be writing in a journal, affirming who you are and what you stand for. I don't care what the method is, as long as it builds you up instead of breaking you down. Because if you don't shape your mind, the world will do it for you, and the world doesn't care about your purpose. You've got to decide every morning, before I let a single voice into my head, I'm going to put my own voice there first. I'm going to remind myself of my vision. I'm going to remind myself of my goals. I'm going to put gratitude in my heart before I deal with problems. I'm going to put peace in my spirit before I step into chaos. That's how you walk into the day with stability. That's how you keep your emotions from being tossed around by whatever happens. When you start your morning nourishing your mind, you give yourself power that most people don't have. Because when challenges come, and they will, you're not reacting from a place of frustration or fear. You're responding from a place of strength. You already built your mindset before the problem even showed up. That's the difference between people who crumble under pressure and people who stand tall in the middle of the storm. It doesn't take hours. I'm not telling you to spend half your morning locked in a meditation retreat. I'm saying 10, 20, 30 minutes where you're intentional about what you feed your brain. Just like your body can't run without food, your mind can't operate at its highest level without the right input. Junk in, junk out. That's true for your thoughts just like it's true for your diet. Some of you wake up and immediately feed your mind with arguments, gossip, fear, bad news. You don't even notice it because it's become a habit. But you can't keep expecting positive outcomes from negative input. You can't expect to have vision if you keep clouding it with garbage before you've even brushed your teeth. And let me tell you something, what you feed your mind first thing in the morning has a way of multiplying. You read something inspiring, you'll carry that energy into the next task. You start with gratitude, you'll find more to be grateful for. You focus on a solution, you'll be better at spotting solutions all day. The same is true for negativity. If you start with it, it spreads. If the first thing you see in the morning is something that frustrates you, guess what? You'll find more frustration as the day goes on. Successful people are intentional about this. They don't leave it to chance. They don't just hope the morning will be peaceful, they create that peace. They create that focus. They don't just wake up and see what happens, they make something happen. That's why, while everyone else is getting pushed around by the current of the day, they're steering their own ship. Some of you think you don't have time for this. You say, I'm too busy in the morning, I've got to get to work, I've got kids to take care of. But that's exactly why you need it. If your life is that busy, if your responsibilities are that heavy, you can't afford to run on empty. You need those moments of stillness and clarity more than anyone else. It's not selfish to take that time, it's necessary. Because when you're grounded, when you're centered, you show up better for everyone else. Think about it. When's the last time you really took control of your thoughts before the day started? When's the last time you put something good in your head before the world tried to put its mess in there? You can't live on autopilot and expect to build a life on purpose. Every morning is a chance to get better. Every morning is a chance to align yourself with your mission. Every morning is a chance to put yourself in the right frame of mind to win. And here's the truth, this isn't just about having a better day. This is about stacking better days until you have a better life. The compound effect of feeding your mind well every single morning is massive. Over weeks, months, years, you'll think sharper, react calmer, create more, connect deeper. You'll see opportunities where you used to see problems. You'll find solutions where you used to get stuck. But it starts with protecting those first moments, with saying, this is my time, this is my space, this is my mind, and I decide what goes in here first. You've got to guard it like your future depends on it, because it does. Because if you don't take the time to nourish your mind before the world distracts you, you'll spend the rest of the day trying to recover what you lost in the first 5 minutes. You can't separate your body from your mind and expect to be at your best. The two are connected. The way you treat your body affects the way you think, the way you feel, the way you show up. That's why highly successful people make movement a non-negotiable part of their morning. They don't wait until later in the day, because later is when the excuses come. Later is when you're too busy, too tired, too distracted. They do it in the morning because that's when they can set the tone, send the signal to themselves, my health matters, my energy matters, my discipline matters. It doesn't have to be some 2-hour workout in the gym. It can be stretching, running, lifting, walking, whatever gets your blood flowing. Because the goal isn't just to build muscle, the goal is to wake up your entire system. You start moving, your heart starts pumping, your brain starts firing, and suddenly the fog is gone. You feel sharper. You feel more alive. That's not magic, that's science. Your body releases chemicals that literally put you in a better mood and give you more focus. And when you start the day feeling that way, you make better decisions. You handle stress better. You think clearer. But here's what most people do: they drag themselves out of bed, barely move, and then wonder why they're sluggish all morning. They go straight from sleep to sitting, and their body never gets the message that it's time to perform. Then all day long, they're running on low energy, drinking coffee after coffee, trying to force productivity out of a body that never got activated in the first place. If you want to perform at a high level, You can't treat your body like it's an afterthought. You can't expect your mind to operate at peak capacity if your body is in survival mode. The greatest ideas, the best decisions, the most creative breakthroughs, they don't come when you're tired, tense, and drained. They come when your mind and body are both fully engaged. And the easiest way to get there is to move in the morning. Think about it. Movement is momentum. When you move your body, you send a message to your brain: we're not sitting around today. We're active, we're focused, we're ready. That momentum spills over into everything else you do. If you've ever had a morning workout and then crushed the rest of your day, you know what I'm talking about. It's not just about the exercise, it's about the mindset you create when you start with action instead of passivity. And listen, discipline in one area of your life creates discipline in other areas. When you get up early and move, even when you don't feel like it, you're training yourself to do the hard things first. You're building that mental toughness that carries over into your work, your relationships, your decisions. You're proving to yourself before the day even starts that you can push past comfort. And when you do that, everything else becomes easier to face. Some of you say, I'm not a morning workout person. Fine. You don't have to become a professional athlete. But you do need to create a habit of movement, because your body is the tool you're using to create your future. You can't build a big vision with broken health. You can't run toward your goals if you're always running out of breath. And you can't give the world your best if you're giving your body your leftovers. Even if you start small, start. Maybe it's 5 minutes of stretching. Maybe it's a short walk. Maybe it's a quick bodyweight routine. The size of the action doesn't matter at first. What matters is that you create the pattern. Over time, you'll build on it. Over time, you'll crave it. And over time, you'll realize it's not just about your physical health. It's about your mental strength. Because when your body is active, your brain becomes active. You process information faster. You handle problems with more clarity. You stay calmer in stressful situations because your body has already been through something challenging that morning. You're not just physically warmed up, you're mentally and emotionally warmed up too. And there's another benefit people overlook. When you take care of your body first thing, you're less likely to sabotage yourself later. You start the day with a win, and that win influences the choices you make. You might eat better because you don't want to undo your effort. You might manage your time better because you feel more in control. You might even talk to yourself differently because you've already proven you're capable of taking action. But here's the truth: if you wait until you feel like it, you'll almost never do it. Most mornings, you're not going to wake up excited to move. You're going to wake up feeling tired or sore or just not in the mood. That's where discipline comes in. You don't move because you feel ready. You move to get ready. You move to wake yourself up. You move because you know your future self will thank you for it. And the mornings when you don't feel like it, but you do it anyway, those are the mornings that build you. Those are the mornings that separate you from the crowd, because anybody can work hard when they're motivated. Anybody can get moving when it's convenient. But the people who make it to the top are the ones who build the habit of showing up, no matter what. It's simple. A strong body supports a strong mind. You can't have one without the other. And when you start your day strengthening both, you're not just preparing for the day ahead, you're preparing for the life ahead. Because if you want to stand tall in your purpose, you've got to start by standing strong in your body. Waking up early doesn't mean anything if you don't know where you're going. You can be up before the sun, you can have all the energy in the world, but if you step into the day without a plan, you're just moving in circles. That's why the most successful people don't just wake up early, they wake up with clarity. They already know what needs to get done. They already know what matters most. They don't waste energy guessing, and they don't let the day push them around. Too many of you are busy, but you're not productive. You're running from one thing to the next, putting out fires, answering calls, checking emails, but you're not moving closer to your real goals. Why? Because you didn't set your targets before the day began. And when you don't decide what's important, the world will decide for you. The problem is, the world's priorities won't always match your purpose. You've got to take control of your time before it gets taken from you. That means every morning, or better yet, the night before you look at your day and decide what the top priorities are. Not 10 things, not 20 things. I'm talking about the 2 or 3 high-impact actions that, if you complete them, will move you forward in a big way. Those are your non-negotiables. Everything else is extra. See, the trap most people fall into is thinking that being busy equals progress. They measure their value by how exhausted they are at the end of the day. But being drained doesn't mean you accomplished anything that matters. It just means you gave your time and energy away without direction. Planning your day with precision is how you make sure that when you pour yourself out, it's into something that actually builds your future. When you start the morning by mapping your focus, you walk into the day with confidence. You're not reacting, you're leading. You're not wondering what to do next, you're executing. And when distractions come, because they will, you're not pulled off track so easily. You already know what you're here to do, and you get back to it. This isn't about micromanaging every second of your life. It's about giving yourself a clear framework so you can operate with intention instead of impulse. You can still leave room for flexibility, but you have to know the difference between adjusting your plan and abandoning it. Successful people adjust, they don't drift. And let me tell you something, when you get in the habit of planning your day, you start valuing your time differently. You stop giving it away to people and things that don't matter. You stop saying yes to everything because you realize every yes is a no to something else. You start protecting your focus like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Think about it. Your focus is your fuel. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if your attention is scattered, those ideas won't go anywhere. Planning your day is how you take that fuel and put it in the right place, at the right time, in the right amount. It's how you make sure your energy is spent on the things that give you the highest return. Some people resist planning because they think it's too rigid. They want to go with the flow. But here's the truth. If you don't set your own flow, you're going to get swept up in somebody else's. And that flow is usually filled with their priorities, their emergencies, and their distractions. You end up spending your whole day helping build someone else's dream while your own sits untouched. When you plan, you take ownership of your hours. You decide how they're spent before anyone else can. You don't just hope the day will be productive, you make it productive. You decide what success looks like for that day, and then you move toward it. That's how you stack wins. That's how you turn days into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years of consistent progress. You've also got to be honest with yourself in the planning stage. It's easy to fill your list with easy wins that make you feel good, but don't actually change anything. That's just staying busy in disguise. The real challenge is putting those uncomfortable, high-leverage tasks at the top and committing to knocking them out first. That's where the growth is. That's where the breakthroughs are. And here's the thing, planning isn't just about time management. It's about energy management. You've got to know when you operate best and put your most important work in that slot. Don't waste your peak hours on low-priority tasks. Protect that energy for the things that matter most. That's how you work smarter instead of just harder. Planning also gives you something most people don't have: peace of mind. When you've laid out your day, you don't have to keep everything in your head. You don't have to wonder if you're forgetting something. You don't have to feel guilty about what you're not doing because you've already decided what matters and you're doing it. That clarity frees up mental space and reduces stress. If you think about the people you admire, the ones who seem to get so much done without looking overwhelmed, I promise you they're not just winging it. They have a plan. They know their priorities. They focus their energy where it counts. And because of that, they can achieve more in a few focused hours than most people do in a full day of scattered effort. But it's not just about the plan, it's about sticking to it. A plan is worthless if you abandon it the moment things get hard. You've got to be committed enough to follow through, even when you get tired, even when something tempting tries to pull you away, even when it would be easier to push it off until tomorrow. Because tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and before you know it, another year has passed and nothing has changed. You have to remember, a day without direction is a day wasted. You can't get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why you can't afford to drift. You can't afford to just see where the day takes you. You have to decide where you're taking it. Because if you don't plan the day will plan you, and you might not like where it takes you.